Welcome to this Engerati interview. I'm Rose Bundock, Head of Commercial Content. I'm joined now by Daniel Cerveró, Director, SI Capital. Thank you for joining us, Daniel.
Thank you to you.
We're talking today about energy efficiency projects and access to finance. You are accumulating a €100 million pot to spend on such projects. And I'm sure our audience is keen to know, what type of projects are you looking for?
Okay. So, as you said, we are in a fundraising process of a €100 million fund. I would like just step back just to say that we are SI Capital, that we are managers just in sustainable investments. So we are really market focused on this niche. And this fund is going to be a fund of, that is going to invest on energy efficiency and in what we call three kind of assets. Okay. First one should be what we call energy efficiency infrastructure. Mainly these kind of projects are district heatings or waste to energy projects. There are projects that they have a life more than 20, 30 years, and they also implies to have civil works. So if you do an investment, you cannot take out this investment and replace it in another place. This is one of the allocation. The other part of the allocation is energy efficiency implementation. This is what usually people is thinking when it's talking about energy efficiency. This is the LED retrofit. This is the change of boilers. This is the heating and ventilation and air conditioning systems. Okay. And the third kind of investments we do, and in this specific kind of investment, maybe we are kind of different of the rest of the private equity firms that they are investing in this sector, is because we can invest in what we call growth companies. Okay, so usually when we invest, we create an SPV. No? We create a special purpose vehicle to do the investments. But in the case of the growth companies, we can invest direct into that companies to make the growth. And so on. So this is a difference that we have. Yeah.
So just to be clear, this is Europe-wide.
Yeah.
Are there particular countries that have a stronger energy efficiency sector?
Our focus first is in Spain, mainly for two reasons. First one is because we have a deep knowledge of the Spanish market on energy efficiency. And the second one is because we have an anchor investor that is the government of Spain, and we have to invest also in projects in Spain. But, for instance, if you ask me what kind of projects, in which countries are you looking projects today, we are looking projects in Spain, we are looking projects in the Portuguese market, because they have good regulation specifically for generation distribution or distributed energy. And also we would like to see projects in France, strong regulation, but a lot of competition. So let's see our target returns, if we can achieve there or not. And there we are open to study specific countries like Germany. But of course we invest in all Europe, but we cannot invest in all European countries, because we know to have a good knowledge, a good support, good lawyers, good technology partners, good team, etc.
Is it conceivable in some of these countries the energy retailer could be offering the types of services that Nesco does?
When you talk an energy retailer, you refer to an utility company, for instance?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is happening. I can really discuss with you about the Spanish market, because it's the one that I know for the more. And for instance, in the Spanish market, maybe we have 1,000 ESCOs, but real ESCOs that they are doing transactions, maybe there are 12, 15, and of these 12, 15 ESCOs, 4, 5, there are utilities companies. So it is clear that utilities companies, they have a role to finance ESCOs and to do this kind of projects. But there is an important difference when an utility is doing this or when a private equity fund is doing it. As a private equity fund, we don't need to have fidelization with the client energy, with all the clients. For instance, what I want to say is that if we go to an industry and we replace the boiler, maybe we will take the heat demand, but we don't need to take the electricity demand of all the industry. When an utility comes to finance the industry, they are going to try for sure, because if it is their business to get the electricity and also the heat things. So it's a market competitor, and I think it's a good thing to boost projects.
It's obviously a long process to get financing from your fund, but in the interest of time, how many different stages are there?
When we study a project, you mean which is the process, no, our analysis process?
Exactly, the qualifying process.
It's a pity I didn't take our process, because it's a DIN A3, you know, that it's with a lot of different gaps. But if I should summarize, it will be something similar to: first thing, we need a really easy summary of the project. Who is the client? We would like to know who is the client, because one of the risks that, or mainly the only risk that we would like to assume, is the insolvency of the client. So we should study carefully who is the client. That does not mean that we could not that we invest just in investment grade companies or other companies, but we should do a really analysis. Then we would like to know a little bit about the project. And when I said about the project, it's about the project. It's not I have an idea of doing something. No. Please explain me which is your project, which technology are you using. For instance, in our fund, the strategy is not to go for technology that is not proven for the market yet. So in that, we don't want to take a technical risk. So we are working with technologies that are proven with the market, that big institutions or important industries they are using that technology. So this is another thing. So first, who is the client, which is the technology, and then a first idea of numbers. Okay, what is the energy cost of the client, how many kilowatts they are consuming, etc. Then when we receive this, we make a first analysis, and then we decide if we go on or not. Okay, it's really fast, this one, no? Also here we ask about the investment, the capex, no, that the developer is asking to us. We would like to see the payback. For instance, if we have a payback superior to 10 years, it's impossible to us to finance. Another thing, experience shows us that each technology on energy efficiency have their own paybacks. That means that if somebody introduced to you a LID project with a payback of 10 years, something is happening, because usually LID have paybacks between 1 and 2 years. So could not be 10, okay? So, as I told you, things should be with common sense. After that, if we like the project, we sign an NDA. Well, first we sign an NDA, then we will ask some exclusivity to work on the project with the objective between 1 month, 2 months, depending on the situation of the project, if the client requests immediate answer or not, to work on a term sheet. No? A term sheet, you know that it's a document when you define the terms and conditions of the future contract, and it's an important document because you show also the structure, if you are going to create an SPV, if you are going to ask for debt, if you are asking some specific covenants to the ESCO company, and these things. And once the term sheet is in place, and then we present the project in our investment committee, and then if it's okay, then we go for the due diligence, and then if it's okay, then we invest. So it is true that it's not like this, but the first time we work together with a technology partner or client, it could take between 3 and 6 months, and this is the reality. I would like to say to you 1 month, but it is not true today. But experience is important, aggregators are important, so our goal is try to make standardization in all the projects. That's why we like this kind of project as the SEAF project and the Investors Confidence project, because they help us to standardize all the projects, they reduce the transaction cost, and then we can have a better reaction into the market.
And I'm sure from the ESCO perspective, they must be quite intimidating, being, presented with quite that long list, and understanding what they need to provide. And so, I mean, that does lead us on to a conversation about eCord. And you see a value in the tool.
Yes, I see a value because, as you said, the typical technology partner, it's normal. He says, hey, they believe in the technology and said, hey, look, this is a good project, why not finance? And then we, as a private equity firms, we begin to ask a lot of questions, to review things, and this is a little bit complex at the beginning. No? But it is true that also in SI Capital we have experience in being developers and entrepreneurs, so we can understand really good how ESCOs they think, so we can speak the same language. Because what it happens normally is that here there is an idea of a project, here is the finance, and there is a big gap. With experience and good team, we are capable of transforming this into a project, and then we can communicate. And that's why also the tool of EQUAT and SEAF, it's really good for us, because it's like you have a document with a description. It's like an executive summary prior to go to an investment committee. No? They're talking about the project, about the risk, if you can take an insurance to mitigate whatever. So it's really useful. Yeah.
Daniel, thank you for your comments. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You've been watching the Engerati Studio. There's plenty more energy efficiency videos on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us.